He thinks it's his job to make sure that you know if you don't follow his brand of tolerance that you shouldn't have a seat at the table of Western civilization. That your daughter is intolerant because she doesn't want to see someone's pecker right at face level. So for people who obviously you've been following this, but we didn't have time to get into this because Epstein happened earlier in the week. Chris Cuomo was recently approached a restaurant. The Fredo thing, let me refresh your memory.
Oh, punk ass from the right call me Fredo. They use it as an Italian aspersion. Any of you Italian? Are you Italian? It's a f***ing insult to your people.
Don't you love how he turns up the Goomba?
Yeah.
It's an insult to your people. Hey! Forget about it. Mama's a pizza pie.
He's a big tough guy.
La Fangoule.
I didn't insult you.
Tough guy.
It's like I call you punk. You like that?
Listen, I have a problem with you, man.
You're gonna have a f***ing problem.
What? What are you gonna do about it?
I'll f***ing ruin your shit. I'll f***ing throw you down these stairs like a f***ing punk.
That's the moment where he was really trying to perpetuate the negative Italian stereotype and went too far. And you can see him look at the camera like, I'm going to throw you down the stairs. And oh, crap, I'm just one step shy of saying I'm going to crowbar your kneecaps. And he's sitting there just like.
Gosh, what a punk.
He is well, as he says, punk.
Yeah. There you go.
That's kind of funny when he asked that rhetorical question. Like, why would you do that when you're trying to fight somebody? Like, I'm a believer in just either fights. If you're going to fight, either strike or don't. But don't ask rhetorical questions. What if I called you punk, huh? How do you feel? Just punch him. Like, what do you mean? Like, that's the worst thing. Even if just say punk and boom, throw one. Throw your overhand. I don't care.
Just
throw a Russian casting punch but you're asking, are you expecting an actual answer? How about I throw you down the flight of stairs? Yeah, answer me!
I wouldn't like people.
And I think the guy who called him Fredo, if he was, in fact, and we're hearing reports that maybe he wasn't with his wife and kid. Listen, I think there's a ceasefire when you're out in public and you shouldn't be berating somebody. I think the guy who did it was a dick and trying to set him up. That being said, he, of course, Chris Cuomo, should be able to allow cooler heads to prevail. So that's why it's time for this month's installment of What a Piece of Shit! So today, top 5 reasons half-Asian lawyer Bill Richmond's monitor is broken. So he's leaning over looking at the big monitor.
I gotta look all the way over to the side.
Buddy, don't worry.
We're supposed to do 5, but we actually had 7, and we said, and then we just rounded it down to 6. I don't know why. So
number of man.
Number 6. This is we have videographic evidence for all this. Chris Cuomo said that Nathan Phillips, remember the meth quest guy?
Yeah.
He actually said on air that Nathan Phillips wanted to defuse the situation by banging the drum in the Covington kid's face, and the kid made the wrong decision by standing and smiling. So this is how he frames it in, and he wants you to think that, my God, he's an actual journalist.
Nathan Phillips apparently wanted to diffuse the tension, and he walked up to do exactly that. And surely the kid, Nick Sandman, he doesn't seem to be afraid, but he did make a choice, and that was to make it into a standoff. That was not a good choice.
What?
Was it legal? Sure. That's not my test. And it shouldn't be the test.
That kid showed great
What a piece of
shit. I know, man.
Is it
Come
legal?
on.
Sure. But that's not my test. But
Don't take
you
my
know
word
me.
for it.
I don't have to tell you twice.
He stood there.
No, you know what? You need to tell us many times. What is your test, Chris Cuomo? Well, if you need to ask, you're not yet ready to hear. What? What are you, some fake Goomba, Mr. Miyagi, you piece of shit?
Wax on.
That's awesome.
By the way, it's not only legal, he was in the right.
Yes.
The guy effectively assaulted him. And this is what's so important to me is Chris Cuomo really does, if you see him on Twitter, he claims to be a journalist. He doesn't, he acts as though there is no kind of bias. This is what's insane to me. I don't have a problem if you're right or if you're left. Just don't lie to me.
Admit it. Own it.
All right. Let's go to reason number 5. I think we have a video of this one where he claimed that America first and the term nationalist, these terms are actually phrases equivalent to, not they're bad, not they might be dog whistles, concentration camps.
One point of pushback before I get to you, Angela. You did not have similar problems with the phrase America First, which is equally stained, or the word nationalist, which is equally stained. No, yes, as a matter of fact.
I totally disagree that it's a stained word. As a matter of fact,
You
I
may,
think it's a
but you are
proud
wrong.
word. American well, no, I'm not wrong. You don't get to define what nationalism means
I
for
do.
me.
I love it.
Wow.
CNN must watch this.
Wow.
Their credibility hangs in the balance from an anchor who can be fooled by basic opposite day reverse psychology.
I mean,
no, yes. I'm gonna go with yes.
Dead gummit.
What happened season?
Where do we end up?
Not only does he say that it's equivalent to concentration camps, when a guy responds perfectly reasonably, he's like, no, not at all. Yes, at all. Yes, all. Reason number 4. I should set this up. I just think we'll let the clip do the talking. Yeah. He actually thinks that, remember how Donald Trump got all kinds of flack for saying, I'm not talking about the white supremacists or the white nationalists. They should absolutely be condemned totally. But then he talked about the people who they're protesting.
12
good
seconds
people
later.
on both sides. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, if you watch more of the context, and we can't provide you with all the context because we don't have that much time, let's just show the clip. Chris Cuomo, he thinks Antifa is right.
Talk about Antifa. I've watched them in the streets protesting in different situations, okay? There are certainly aspects of them that are true to a cause. That is a good cause. They want social justice. They want whatever they want in that context.
Do what?
What context? They want whatever they want in what to that context.
And
well, what
what-
context? Social justice. Well, what does that even mean? Yes.
Antifa. Yes, no.
Change at the end of a bat.
By the way, did you see? He also tweeted out a meme suggesting that D-Day soldiers and Antifa were one and the same.
Wow.
Let's not forget.
Oh my gosh.
Not cool, bro.
Let's
What
not
the hell?
forget, okay? If you forget, it's an insult to your people.
I'll wreck you.
By the way, while we're mocking other people who claim to be journalists, I'm not one. So hit the notification bell if you're subscribed, because apparently that doesn't mean a whole lot. Join Mug Club, louderwithcutter.com/Mug Club. You get all kinds of additional content, including more content with my half-Asian lawyer, Bill Richmond. Subscribe on iTunes and Crowder Bits on YouTube, where we upload other clips. Here's another example. Cuomo, actually. We don't have the it's a clip, and then his Twitter. He mocked effectively a rape victim for who had a gun to defend herself and her children. She cut an ad for the NRA. Here you go.
I knew I was going to die, and there was nothing I could do. Now I'm a mother of 2. And if that predator or anyone else tries to harm me or my family, they have to come through my firearm first.
And then Chris Cuomo responded with "Only in America," responding to that video. Yes.
Yes.
Isn't that a good
God?
Correct.
As opposed to the UK, what she should be throwing chicken strips because she can't even have a butter knife?
Exactly.
Yeah.
She got raped. She can defend herself now.
Why
Thank
is this a
God.
bad thing? When we talk
Yes.
about, you talk about social justice, you talk about equality, you just talked about it in the Antifa clip, they punch random passersby at will in the face.
Yeah.
How about equality for women being able to protect themselves?
Yes.
The only thing that can allow a woman to be stronger than a man
There you go.
is a gun.
Yeah.
But none of this is nothing Cuomo says is ever based on verifiable evidence or truth. From Russia to the idea that women shouldn't be able to have a gun. And this is one of those tropes they try out, like you're actually worse off just for having a gun in the house.
No, you're
No,
not.
that is not true at all. It is immediately debunked by simply looking at the defensive uses of firearms in the country every year. It's that
makes
simple.
sense.
Yeah.
This was one that's this is particularly for even in the realm of piece of segments. At least Chris Cuomo, he's not as offensively unattractive as Brian Stelter.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Like, I get
But-
the Chris Cuomo, the nepotism thing,
Yeah.
but Brian Stelter, can someone explain it to me in the comments section? I'm also still not convinced that he's straight. So anyway, Cuomo did
Debatable.
say this was something else. He said that offering thoughts and prayers was the equivalent to mocking mass shooting victims.
How in the world?
And then it gets even, if you think, whoa, that's pretty rough for a journalist,
Right.
It gets even worse. Here you go.
The only consensus there is in a canard, and here it is.
Canard?
First,
You're a
I would like
canard.
to offer my thoughts and prayers. Because that's what you do when you offer thoughts and prayers.
Seriously?
You mock those who lost loved ones. What would it take? How about a stadium full of children of the most influential people in our society, all holding puppies? What if they were all shot or killed? Would we act? Oh, don't be ridiculous to suggest something like, is it? Is it ridiculous?
Oh my gosh.
No, wait, yes, it is
Yes.
ridiculous.
Yes, it is.
Wait.
Wow.
Sorry,
Son of a
Cuomo.
gun.
You made it too easy for me. Yeah, it's
How in the world does he get away with mocking
It's the equivalent to
Christians
mocking
praying for people?
for thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
As opposed to what you're going to do, Chris Cuomo? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Well, I'll support the assault weapon ban. Oh, so you'll send your thoughts to your representatives to support a piece of legislation that makes a gun like this illegal and legal. Legal, illegal, legal, illegal. Everything else is the same.
Let's just call
So
it
in
what
other
it
words, someone's prayers to the higher power that most people on planet Earth believe in is
Right.
more silly than you hoping, wishing, and loving, and hoping, and being a piece of in your mind, hoping that someone signs a bill that won't be effective at all. And by the way, when he talks about people in a stadium with puppies and we shot, I don't talk about a non sequitur, but this is not in the mind of a crazy piece of But he says, imagine the most influential people in the world.
Yeah.
Well, hold on, that's not the crux of this story here, this hypothetical.
Right.
It's shooting the puppies. I don't care if Podesta's holding them. And this is what's so dangerous. You can see him talking about the Australian buyback. And he doesn't fill his audience in on the fact that it's mandatory. That is an outright gun ban. And the real danger here is everyone, Rachel Maddow, people say, well, why don't you take, I don't have a problem with Rachel Maddow because people know where she lines up. Some people, namely when we're talking about CNN, people in airports who've apparently had their eyes duct taped open, because that's the viewership we're talking about here. They don't necessarily know that Cuomo is biased, right? So this guy goes out there and claims to be an actual journalist, and everything that we've just heard is a narrative that he's allowed to frame. That he goes out there and he decides what information, or at least at one point, right? And that's why these people, CNN, NBC, Universal, Viacom, all of these companies want to make sure their show like this doesn't exist, because at one point in time, all you had was Chris Cuomo.
Yeah.
You think Walter Cronkite was any better? He was better at disguising it a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's what he's doing here. And in case in point, he wants to determine how you view the news. And not only how you view it, but ultimately what kind of speech is permissible. Which brings me to, we don't have a video clip, but I think this is the worst thing that Cuomo's ever done. And again, this goes to him trying to manipulate and control news. And I'm not talking about some government form of mind control. And I got heart, I got blood pumping through my heart. I'm a human. I'm just saying this is a form of propaganda.
Oh, Alex Jones.
Yeah.
By the way, a whole exclusive Alex Jones interview available at Mug Club. It's like a whole hour.
It's great.
Because he wanted to reframe language here in saying that 12-year-old girls who don't want to see penises in the locker room are bigots. Here you go. Look at that. I wonder if she has a problem of her overprotective and intolerant dad. Teach tolerance. So there you go, because this is Chris Cuomo, right? In his job, he thinks that he thinks it's his job to make sure that if you don't follow his brand of tolerance, that you shouldn't have a seat at the table of Western civilization. That your daughter is intolerant because she doesn't want to see someone's pecker right at face level with her permeable contacts right at the. I mean, it's remarkable to me. Hey there, YouTube viewers, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell if you're already subscribed to this channel, because that lets you know when new videos come out and they don't show up on the YouTube search feed. Also, there are videos playing in boxes here. Click one of those. Just of all the things that I just mentioned, all you have to do is one. And if you don't, I will run for the United States presidency under the 1064th percent Cherokee Party. I have yet to pick my VP.